What's going on, guys? It is Rob, and I am back with a brand new video. Just chilling here in the movie room right now. I just beat Resident Evil 3 on PS4, and I have to say, this game was fantastic. I know a lot of people are complaining right now because they say, well, the game is too short. You know, the $60 price is not justified with this game, and I gotta disagree. I loved this game. It was very thrilling. It was intense. The cinematic stuff was great. The gameplay was improved. I love the dodge feature, which is exactly what I wanted in this game. I mean, you can evade enemies by, you know, if an enemy grabs you, you can stab them with a knife, or, you know, shove a grenade in their mouth and stuff like that. There was that feature. But in this one, you can actually dodge them. And it comes useful when Nemesis is chasing you. And that's the thing, too. There's another complaint saying, well, you know, Nemesis wasn't really scary in this because he wasn't walking around like Mr. X did in Resident Evil 2. Well, here's the thing. They've already done that. Why do it again? Nemesis is supposed to be more intense than Mr. X. All Mr. X does is just walk around. That's all he does in the police station. Was that creepy? Yeah. Not knowing, you know, where he was or where he's going. He could be down this hallway and you could run into him. But Nemesis shows up in a lot of parts where he just runs after you. And it's kind of like a cat and mouse thing. And, you know, he'll go in certain rooms or he won't go in other rooms. But it's all kind of random in that way. But still, you know, people want him to be like Mr. X. And I think this game is a lot bigger as far as, you know, the amount of areas. I mean, it's in the city, pretty much. I mean, there are times where you go into like an apartment building, you know, stores and things like that. And there's even sewer parts, just like in Resident Evil 2. I don't get it. You know, in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the PlayStation, Nemesis, you know, at certain times in the game, he would just turn up and chase after you. So I don't get it. You know, it's a remake. I don't get why they want it to be like Mr. X. We had that experience in this game. So why do it again? It's a beautiful, beautiful game. The graphics are unbelievable. Like I said, I think the gameplay has improved. You know, people say it's a short game. And it is. I mean, I will say, you know, it didn't take me that long to beat it. But I could say the same for Resident Evil 2. I can beat this game in like 2.5 hours. Okay? Over 2 hours. I can beat this game. So what does that say? You know, that's not a long game. If you're going through it and you know where things are and you're playing through it. I mean, I know where a lot of the things are because I played through this game a ton of times and I know where the secrets are and all the stuff that I need. But I can still beat it in that amount of time. Now, granted, there's Claire's side of the story and there's Leon's side of the story and then there's the second runs, okay? But it doesn't matter what run you do, I can still beat it in that amount of time. So technically, you know, I would say this is not worth the $60 price. If you're going to go by game length. Now, did I want more? Of course. I wanted more even with this game. I wanted more. Of course, anybody would want more. I mean, duh. But for what we got, I thought it was good. And here's the thing. They could probably, you know, come out with some DLC to add on to it. Or you know, more options. One thing I do like is the unlockable system. They kind of went back to like Resident Evil 5, if you remember. In Resident Evil 5, they had a point system where you earn points and you go to the like the unlockable section and you can use those points to unlock certain things such as infinite weapons and you know, statues and things like that. They did that in Resident Evil 5. That's actually, you know, a really cool system. They do that here. you earn points and you unlock things. You can unlock hip pouches and weapons and infinite weapons, which is really, really awesome. Costumes. So, good old-fashioned unlocking. Now, I'm sure a lot of that stuff will be available to just buy, so you don't actually have to go through the point system. My thing is, you get that option. It's just like playing, you know, back in the day. You unlock stuff instead of having the microtransactions. So that's a positive I can say. I have not played Resident Evil Resistance. I basically got the game to play Resident Evil 3. Now, I will play Resistance, you know, soon. But this is just a review on the game. I do like Jill's story. I like Carlos. He's awesome. I like the fact that you go back into the police station before, you know, a little bit before the events of Resident Evil 2, because you see Marvin, the cop, how he got hurt before he runs into, you know, Leon and Claire. I loved it. I loved that. You go into the police station. That was like really, really awesome. You know, you go into Kendo Dunn shop. There's a little bit of a story with him. But I like how they also did some Resident Evil 7 stuff. And what I mean is, in the beginning of the game, it's in first person, just like Resident Evil 7. And like I said, the graphics are unbelievable. You're around Jill's apartment, you're looking through stuff, and there's some creepy moments, I will say. Some stuff with the lighting and the you know, there's a thunderstorm going on. Just really, really cool stuff. And then it switches to the third person view, you know, where you're looking over Jill's shoulder pretty much. You're behind her. And the thing is, I mean, who wouldn't want to be behind Jill? Anyway, yeah, the graphics, the gameplay, you know, the weapons are really cool. You can upgrade those a lot. You know, if you have a shotgun, you can get like the grip for it, and like, you know, things to do with the actual shells and how many shells you can load in there, and just different things for the weapons, the iron sights and the dot sights and stuff. I love the hospital setting. I think the hospital setting is probably one of my favorite settings in a Resident Evil game. Like, I love it so much. They also had a Resident Evil 4 kind of a nod to it. And that was the scene in the hospital where you have to protect Jill in the room. Carlos basically barricades the door, and there's a time limit. And all these creatures, the zombies and the hunters, start coming into these windows at different parts of the room. Once they break the window, you know, then they come in. Just like Resident Evil 4. Okay, they did the same thing Resident Evil 4, where you're in the house with Louis, and then you barricade the doors and the windows, and then the you know, Ganados break in, and you have to basically kill a certain number of enemies in order to stop the attack. Which is a very intense scene in Resident Evil 4, but they did that in this game. So that was a nice little nod. You can see that this game is actually full of nods. Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, even with the point system. A lot of really cool nods. And I think that says a lot, you know? I love this game. Am I disappointed? No. I am actually really satisfied. But do I want to see more? Of course. I want to see more of any game. If I get into a game, I don't ever want it to end. I want to keep playing. Of course I do. Like I said, as much as I love this game, I wanted more of this game. But yeah, I don't see what everyone's gripe is, you know, saying that $60 is not enough to, you know, justify the game, that it should be cheaper. I mean, I'm all for cheaper games, but you know what? I still think the amount of work and detail and everything put into this game, it's definitely worth it, people. It really is. Like I said, I can beat this game in a little over 2 hours, right? Over 2 hours I can beat this game. That is not long, all right? I'm just saying, just putting that out there, so you can't really compare. Anyway, great story. Love the acting, the like I said, the characters and stuff. I do like Carlos. I think I like Carlos a lot better here than I did in the PlayStation 1 version because I don't know, I just thought he was just a blah character. But here I actually like him a lot more. And Nemesis looked cool too. There are different stages of Nemesis you have to fight him in, and he just gets bigger and meaner and just, it's crazy. The end battle, the last time you fight Nemesis is freaking nuts. It is nuts, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. I loved it, man. This game is so fun. I can't wait to play through it again and start to unlock stuff. That's what I really like to do. There are different modes to play on. There's like the Nightmare mode, which I think I'd actually be good at. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Don't believe, you know, just play it for yourself. There's a lot of negativity out there. Oh, it's not worth $60. The game's too short, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Yeah, just play it for yourself. But yeah, that's my review. I really like it. These two games are just amazing. They did a really, really good job with these remakes. I cannot wait to see what they got next coming up. So, let me know what you think of Resident Evil 3 down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. This is Rob signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.